So if you're a one-to-one tutor and you are considering transitioning to group tuition and opening a group class, here's how I would do it if I was you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Keefe Fonseka. I'm the founder of ThatBioTutor. And I make these videos because I want tutors like you to win, even though I'm losing money every single time I make a video. So here are the 4 main steps. I'm going to list them out right now, the 4 big major events that need to take place. Number 1, you need to choose a target level and a target subject. And number 2 is you need to get students of that target level and subject. Okay, quite obvious. And number 3 is that once you have more than 1 student, which is 2 or more, you can already start the class. You don't need to wait so long. And then step number 4 is just repeat step 2 all the way. So you keep on adding more and more students to the class and it grows. So now I'm going to break down how I would do each of these steps individually if I was in your position. So step number 1, choosing a target level and subject. Now I also started teaching one-to-one tuition and I taught basically anything that I was okay with teaching because I didn't have that long run mindset of, oh, I want to specialize. I just was like, whoever wants to give me money, sure, I will teach you, right? Which is probably the same mindset that you have right now. So if you are ready to take on the huge time and effort commitment that it requires to transition into a group tuition class, then you need to switch the mindset and start thinking long term. If you want to make that dream a reality, you have to choose to specialize in just one subject and one level. So for me, at first, I thought I wanted biology A levels. Reason being because A level students would pay more and also they are older and therefore more mature, so it might be easier to teach them. But then I soon realized that me myself only have A levels as the highest qualification there. So it was quite difficult to teach A level students because my knowledge wasn't that deep enough. Instead, I then decided to teach O level biology because my knowledge was more than enough for that, and I had an extra depth and nuance to the subject which the O-level students did not have because I already learned A levels. So I felt that that was an appropriate level for me to teach and I was comfortable with it, so I settled on O-level biology. So a good rule of thumb is to ask yourself, what am I really good at first? Second is, what subject do I not mind always teaching and always learning about? What would I not get bored of? So for me, it was bio because I was always interested in bio since I was young. And number 3 is, what level can I really impact the most? Which kind of student can I truly help the most with my expertise? And number 4 is, which kind of student is the most in need of help? So generally, the higher up it goes, the harder the syllabus is, and therefore the more help they need. I knew that I couldn't help the A-level students that well because of my lack of expertise, and so the sweet spot for me was O-level bio. So once you've made your choice, you should settle in on it and just focus on it, but do be open to change because I initially thought A-levels was the way to go, then I pivoted. So be open to change that perhaps the one that you selected at first was not ideal for you. Okay, now stage number 2 is to get students of that level and subject. So how do we get more students of that level? Very simple. You just have to change your whole branding to just be that niche. So if you have a social media page, make it very clear what you teach. Put it there up there in your bio that this is who you teach, this is who you are a tutor for, and all your content needs to change to just be talking about that subject and that level, so that when someone of that target audience comes onto your page, they will be a lot more inclined to follow and they'll be a lot more inclined to listen to you and to treat you as an authority in that space, because that is, after all, exactly what they want. They want that level and that subject, and if you are the one offering consistent good content about it, you will become an authority in that space. Next, go to your website and make sure you also change everything. So make sure to clearly tell the reader of who you teach, what you are specializing in. Again, it's so that when the right target audience comes onto your page, they will feel that connection. They will feel like, yes, this is exactly for me. This was made for me. You want them to feel that way. And then on all your advertising and all your posts, whatever you do to reach out on whatever platforms, same thing, please change it. You need to niche down and you need to declare that this is where you stand. You need to put a stake into the ground. Also, if you're just starting out, you may not have a good system of getting students. So you might need to ask around and use family, friend connections, and just ask anyone, do you know of such a student who is taking this specific level and this specific subject? Now, if you're very serious about this point of getting more students of a certain subject and level, you must have a social media presence. And the second thing is you can copy my system, which I use to get students of that subject. You can check out the video which I made. I'll pop it up over here about how I went from 0 to 33 students in 3 months. Okay, now stage 3 is to start the class. So once you have more than 1 student already of that subject and level, then you say, hey, is it okay if I merge you guys together and it'll be a class? It'll be a small class, and I recommend putting a capacity of 4 at the start. After all, you only have 1 or 2, right? So 4 is not that far away, and it does seem reasonable to the students as well. And then also tell them that you will lower their prices when combining, because now it's no longer one-to-one, it's a group class. So in case you're afraid that they might say no, when the first student joins you, you can tell that student that, hey, I actually intend for this to become a small, highly personalized group class with a capacity of 4. So if other other students of your level join, are you okay with me combining you guys, and I will lower your rate as well when that happens? So most of the time they will say yes, and so at least this way they will not get a shock when you do tell them that you intend to combine it. So again, the reason for the 4 max capacity is because you want to lower the barriers to entry as much as possible. This also helps with you getting more students. So you see, when you are just starting a group class, you have no history, pretty much no track record, very little qualifications, no one knows who you are, no one cares about you, and no one trusts you as an authority or a credible source in that subject and level. So you have nothing for you. You must bring the barrier to entry down as much as possible for a student who is joining you. So I have some suggestions. Number 1 is make it exclusive and personalized, so maximum of 4 students per class. Parents usually like this also because they generally don't like having such huge group class sizes because they feel that their child will not get as much attention from you. Next is to have free trial classes. So again, free, I know it's not the best because some students are just in it for the sake that it's free, but this does lower the barrier to entry quite significantly. So if you have nothing for you at the start, you need students to come in and at least try your lessons. So that's why I recommend having free trials. You can also have the option of making the trial paid for if they join. So if they don't like it and they don't join, they don't pay anything. But if they do like it and they want to join, then it will be counted as their first lesson and they will pay for it. So this is what I did last time in the past, but you have to communicate it super clearly to the student and parent because sometimes they will have misunderstandings and they'll think that, oh, it was meant to be free, so even if they join, they don't have to pay. Then also just throw in any other benefits that you can truly throw in, like answering their questions on WhatsApp 24/7. So the point again is to lower the barrier to entry and to spice up the offer of being a student in your class as much as possible, because at this point you truly don't have much going for you in terms of qualifications, background, and in terms of credibility. Okay, now stage 4 is just to repeat stage 2 indefinitely. Just keep on getting more and more students of that subject and level. And here's the thing, you need to make sure that every class that you're teaching is really good. And a way that I make sure that happens is, first, I will rehearse every lesson. I'll make sure that it is smooth and fluent when I'm actually talking it through in the actual lesson itself. The second thing is that I always ask them for feedback. So I used to ask for feedback more frequently in the past. In fact, every new student's first lesson, I will ask them, how was it? What can I improve? What was good? What was bad? And so with this constant feedback, rehearsing your lessons, oh yes, and a third one, which is I used to watch my lessons, a lot of my own lessons again, to see what could be improved. And to be honest, if I watch my lessons now versus like 1 year ago, it would be so cringe because of how bad they were 1 year ago. So do everything you can to make sure that the students are always amazed and wowed by the experience that you're giving them. And if you truly care for them and make them feel special and important to you, they will stick with you. So your class will eventually hit a capacity of 4. That's where you can open up a second class of another 4. Now, when you have too many of these small classes, then I would recommend you to start increasing the class size so you can merge 2 of them and see how things go. Or you could just maintain that group of 4 as like a special exclusive class with higher rates, and then you can open up a so-called unlimited group class size of a lower rate. But that's just a suggestion. I didn't do this myself personally. I just went straight into that unlimited class size thing. But I do actually have a cap, which is around 25 students, because I don't want it to be too overwhelming for myself when I'm answering questions in the group chat. Now, I must warn you that starting this endeavor is extremely time consuming and difficult. Compared to one-to-one, it is a lot more work, a lot more effort. So if you're just here to earn some side income and you want to live that relaxed, nice life, then don't start group tuition. Just stick with one-to-one. It's way better for you and for your sanity. If you're not sure of what I mean, then go and watch this video here about one-to-one versus group tuition.